Running out of money isn't the biggest risk for retirees. It's actually never going to enjoy the money you spent your entire life saving. After helping hundreds retire, I found almost all retirees leave behind far more money than they ever imagined. So in this video, I'll show you the data you need to see if you struggle to spend your money, and the simple shift that will help you enjoy the money you spent decades saving. To start, let me show you the mistake that causes so many retirees to leave behind far more than they ever planned to. A recent study looked at how much retirees spend and whether they're at risk of running out of money. This bar represents the amount researchers deemed was a safe amount for retirees to spend. They used an amount so safe that the average retiree would finish retirement with 3 times the amount of money they started with. So you would think that retirees would be spending at least that. But the gray part of the bar represents what the average retiree actually spent, less than half of what they could without any risk of running out of money. The researchers were so surprised that they named the entire study after it, which they called the consumption gap. They concluded these retirees could have spent over $1 million more without risking running out of money. So the retirement consumption gap leads to so many retirees leaving behind far more than they planned. But now that you know that, how do you get yourself to feel confident spending your money so you don't leave behind millions? You might assume it comes down to the uncertainty of retirement, how long you live, what markets will do, and especially what healthcare will cost. But the study found that even when retirees had 40% of their assets set aside for healthcare, they still spent only a little bit more than they did before. So if defending yourself from the uncertainty of retirement won't help you feel confident spending, how do you do it? Well, what if I told you that retirees actually start to spend more of their savings as they get older? And understanding why might be the key to helping you spend more right now. JP Morgan looked at 280,000 households and tracked how expenses change over time. By the time people reach their 80s, their expenses are about half what they were in their 40s and 50s. But look at this second chart, which shows how much of their savings retirees actually spend each year. Even though expenses are going down, retirees are spending more of their savings in their 80s than they did in their 60s. So what's causing that jump? Well, this shows required minimum distributions, the percentage of your account the government forces you to withdraw each year. Notice how the bars rise over time, almost exactly like the spend rate chart. So once the government forces them to take the money out, retirees finally spend it. But here's what makes this so interesting. The government doesn't force retirees to spend this money, just take it out of that account. They could turn around and easily just reinvest it. So if they don't have to spend it, why do they? The reason is one tiny shift that is one of the biggest unlocks to feel confident spending in retirement. Your entire life, you've been trained to not touch your portfolio, but your monthly paycheck has always been used to pay bills and fund your lifestyle. And what the study found was that retirees spend a much higher percentage of money that shows up as income, whether that's RMDs, Social Security, a pension, or anything else, than what they could safely withdraw from their savings. So if you want to feel more comfortable spending in retirement, the key is to structure your money so it feels like income, not savings. And now that you know this, I know what you're thinking. Okay, I'll just set up a monthly withdrawal and treat it like a paycheck. But most people get stuck here because of one key reason. Most retirees have never even thought about how to shift from growing their money to spending it. Less than half of retirees have developed a formalized plan from how to turn their savings into a reliable income stream in retirement. And of those people who actually do have a plan, only about 30% think their plan will actually meet their needs. So retirees have very little confidence in how to turn their portfolio into a paycheck. So let me show you how to enjoy your money without constantly wondering if you're making a mistake. Think of your spending like a pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid is your foundation. This is money you spend every year no matter what the market does. And it doesn't matter what you spend this on, just that you commit to spending it. If your core expenses are low, this can include travel, helping family, or whatever matters most to you. And for most retirees, that foundation is built around the 4% rule. So if you have $1 million saved, you'd spend $40,000 a year. And that's not $40,000 total, that's just from your portfolio and on top of the rest of your income sources. The reason we use this amount is that historically, this level of spending is held up across every 30-year retirement period in history. So instead of feeling like you need to cut back every time the market dips, you give yourself permission to spend this baseline amount every year. And once your foundation is set, the next level of the pyramid is lifestyle spending. This is an additional amount you allow yourself to spend on top of your foundation. For example, if your foundation spending and other income cover about $100,000 a year, this layer might be another $25,000 on top. This isn't money you spend every single year, but you do expect to spend it in most years. A simple rule of thumb is this: as long as your portfolio finishes the year within 10% of its all-time high, this layer stays on. And at the end of each year, you move this lifestyle amount into a separate account, so there's no question that it's meant to be spent. In the top of the pyramid is opportunity spending. This layer turns on the year after the market reaches a new all-time high. In one of these years, you might be taking out twice as much from your savings than you would in a down market. And here's why this level is so critical. When markets are down, keeping this layer off can help protect you from taking withdrawals that could put your retirement at risk. But when markets are strong, turning this layer on helps make sure you actually enjoy the upside instead of leaving behind far more money than you ever planned. So now you can see why the biggest risk in retirement isn't running out of money. It's never giving yourself permission to enjoy it. And the simple spending structure that can help you avoid the same mistake. But even with a solid spending plan, most retirees still second guess it because of one fear. They're worried about what the next market downturn could do to their retirement. Watch this next. I'll show you the data that helps retirees stop worrying about market crashes so they can actually enjoy their retirement.